This is the first live session. We will have one or two more depending on our needs. Let's see what we can learn about the course. As you have seen, this is a 12-week course. It is equivalent to what we call FDP, Faculty Development Program, particularly for those teachers who are teaching in colleges and universities. What this course does is to explore the interrelationship between literature and life. While we explore the interrelationship, it also helps us in understanding life through literature. We have included different forms of literature like prose, poetry, drama, one-act play, novel, and short story. We engage with different dimensions of humanity like an individual, a family, a society, and the world at large. Sometimes you will see that this covers the whole universe. We have also covered a number of human experiences like success and failure in education,
Haranipriya, Brindani, Anita, Samulika, Madhulika,
career, language, old age, leisure, immortality, neighborhood, nature, even government, administration, love, motherhood, fatherhood, and I have included two other terms like poethood, teacherhood. What does it mean to be a poet? What does it mean to be a teacher? And many other areas of human experience we cover in this course. You have an instructor with some wide experience. All that I want to tell you is experience also counts for a practical approach to life through literature. So I need not focus too much on this. Why I have taken a practical approach to life has some background in my own personal life experience. Whatever we do must be useful to us. So what I teach through literature must be useful to anyone. That is a major assumption that I have. There are several modules, actually 12 weeks. So each week we cover one topic. The entire course I have given you in one chart like this. It's a kind of table. So we have an introduction and we have all different forms of literature. And then finally we have one interaction session, that is panel discussion, which I have not included for want of space. So in every topic, we have almost like 8 lectures. So first 2 weeks for introduction to literature and life and the relationship between literature and life and the kind of approach that we take to the study of literature and life. Next, what we do is to introduce different forms of writing like essay, poetry, drama, novel, and short story. We also have touched upon one-act play as we deal with 2 samples of one-act plays. We have 8 prose pieces in this course, one by Abdul Kalam, another by Chetan Bhagat, one more by R.K. Narayan, and yet another by Amish Tripathi. These are Indian writers. We have some essays by foreign writers as well. George Orwell, William Zinzer, John Didion, and Virginia Woolf. We'll have more to say about these writers and their writing soon. Similarly, for poetry, we have William Wordsworth, H.W. Longfellow, W.H. Davis, Robert Frost, Emily Dickinson, Kamala Das, Louis Glick, and Sujata Bhatt. We have one text from each of these authors. We also have a play called Tuklak by Girish Karnad. This is a full-length play in contrast to two other one-act plays that we have, one by Anton Chekhov that is called The Bear, another one by J.M. Singh called Riders to the Sea. So in this case, we have 5 lectures for Girish Karnad, 2 lectures each for Chekhov and Singh. Next, we have novel, an Indian novel written by Arvind Adiga. This is a well-known novel called The White Tiger. Here again, we have 5 lectures. And the short story, we have 8 authors, some from India and some from other countries. We have represented many countries. For example, we have the French author in Guy de Maupassant, the British author in Catherine Mansfield, and Henrik Boll, a German author, a Latin American author we have in Rosa Joshi is an Indian author. Ruskin Bond is also an Indian. Apachana is a diasporic writer born in India but living in the US. And lastly, we have a very interesting example of science fiction from Isaac Asimov. We have a very interesting short story called True Love. And as we said, the last segment covers panel discussion with various teachers who have taught different forms of poetry in their own classrooms in and around Chennai colleges. We will also learn from their rich experiences. Now we move to questions about life and literature. What are the various questions of living that we deal with in this course? The first question is how to deal with depression and failure in life. We are born with so much of aspirations, dreams, motivations. But when we start living our life, we encounter so many challenges. So how do we live our life amidst challenges? How do we tackle our own sense of oppression or depression, particularly when we deal with failures in different forms, when we are unable to get the job that we want, when we don't get enough marks in the subjects which will determine our future career in engineering, medicine, law, and other programs. We also have some prose pieces, short stories dealing with how to identify the job that we like. That is one dimension. The job that we like is one dimension. But the kind of ability that we have, what is the ability that we have? Our liking and the ability must go together. That's what great people have always done. They pursue their passion to the best of their ability and produce the best results for themselves and for society. Life cannot be lived without using language. And in many cases, people fail in their life because they misuse language or abuse language. So we have some prose pieces to deal with language, how to use language effectively and also creatively. Particularly some writers, if you want to become writers, you should use language creatively. Many times we give that oppression to ourselves. Others may give us oppression or some challenges. But sometimes we feel that we have so many problems in our life. Actually, we may not have them. So how to deal with such sense of oppression that we imagine and create for ourselves? And also, we have our dreams, but we live in certain social situations. We have our own economic conditions, living conditions, which will help us or which may not help us. So, how to overcome these living conditions and then achieve our dreams is one of the best arts of life. We have to learn the tricks of living by overcoming various hurdles that we may have in our own life. And also, we are not an individual alone. We are not a family alone. We live in a society with so many organizations, institutions, college, or a company, or an office. This is what we mean by an organization. The country as a whole is a national organization, and we may have several organizations within the country, within the government and private sector, and also in terms of religion, economic system, administrative system, educational system, marital system. There are so many ways in which we organize ourselves. When we organize ourselves for a goal, for a purpose, we should know how to govern ourselves, administer ourselves. We don't organize ourselves well and administer or govern ourselves well, we may not be able to achieve our goal. Our family, we as an individual or our country may collapse if we have more and more of misgovernment. We have a lot of experiences in life. For example, two emotions by which all of us go through in our life is one is love, another is hate. Both of them exist together. You can find this love and hate within our own family. Parents may love us or may hate us. Husbands and wives may hate or love each other. We may love the society or humanity or nature. We may hate humanity and society. There are so many objects of love and hate. We also have in our, particularly in our human relationships, betrayal, treachery, and that is one big source of oppression for us. That's a big source of problem for us in our life. How to deal with a sense of loss due to betrayal in our relationships. We may also come across forgetfulness as a blessing and also a problem in our life. Many times in our life, we may go through situations of helplessness, and many times we may also feel alienated from our own self, that is distinct from ourselves, separated from our society, our family, and our situations. We ourselves may become insensitive and indifferent to the sufferings of our fellow beings or the sufferings of animals, plants, and the earth as a whole. One of the major problems that we see around the world is poverty. When people suffer because of their poverty, not because of their own making, but because of the social conditions, how do we fellow human beings live with them, take care of them, or treat them? And nowadays, technology has become a serious subject. We don't live without technology. We are conducting this course through technology. You are learning about literature and life through technology enabled platforms like Zoom or NPTEL lecture. So without technology, it's not possible. But this also has its own limits. You know, plagiarism is a major problem. Technology frauds using some kind of internet sources or sending us SMS or email or giving us false promises through internet. So many things are happening. False information is spread through technology, social media, and other print media in so many forms. How do we approach all these human experiences? With all these things, we have a big question: how to be a good human being in a place where we have all opposite qualities? And also, when we attempt to find meaning in our life, we are unable to find it. How to find meaning in our life? And one of the best answers we have from Anton Chekhov: you must trust people or life becomes impossible. So trust, and that's why we mentioned that theme or idea called betrayal. When we trust people, what happens? They betray, they break the trust. then what do? We accept people and go ahead with our life. That's that sense of acceptance of life. Whatever happens in life, we have to accept it. And if you don't accept, we will suffer. We will give sufferings to others as well. These are the many different kinds of questions of life that we'll be discussing in this course with reference to the text that we have chosen. Further, we have some questions of literature. The foremost question for us is what is literature? We have a definition for you in the course. I will quote it here in the next slide. Next, why do authors write about their life experiences both factually and fictionally? Many of us tell our life, share our life, we state our life as we live. We also add some flavor by adding certain information imaginatively. That is from writer's point of view. What about readers? Why do they read literature? Why do we read literature? Why do we study literature? For example, why do teachers teach literature? Why do students or general public read literature? Beyond this, we have organizations like publishers or publication houses or government organizations. Why do they promote authors? For example, in India, we have a society or organization called Sagitya Academy. Sagitya Academy has its own structure. It has offices in various states. Or we have Nobel Prize or Nobel Foundation. And these are just two examples. There are so many public and private organizations which have a lot of money and time devoted for the purpose of recognizing authors from various parts of the world. And finally, what does a society do to its writers? And to answer this question, I will ask another question. Why do we remember Thuruvallur today? Why do we remember Shakespeare today? We remember them, we memorialize them, and by remembering them, we keep them immortal. We never allow them to die from our memory. So writers become part of the collective human race by their writings. Now we go to the most important question, what is literature? We have this in our course, I quote it here from the author called W.H. Hudson from his book, An Introduction to the Study of Literature. It's a simple statement. Literature is fundamentally an expression of life through the medium of language. So you can see how life and literature are interconnected through language. We use language to express our experiences of life in different forms of literary art, like essay, poetry, drama, novel, short story, autobiography, biography, so many other kinds of literary writings. We may also express our life experiences through visual arts like painting or performance art like dance. We may do so many things, but we deal with verbal art, that is language art. We use language to give shape to our experiences of life. So, if you want to understand literature and life, you have to understand language as well. That's why in our course, we pay attention to the use of language as well. We move on to the next important question. What is life? We don't have any quotation here, but we have some description of life. Life is both a lived experience and also an imagined experience. Some facts. We wake up in the morning at 6 o'clock, go to bed at 10 o'clock in the evening. That is factual. We see the sun rising in the morning, we see the sun setting in the evening. That is factual. But when we imagine our life and live our life, in our dreams, daydreams, or night dreams, we live an imaginary world in our own mind. Psychological state of mind is actually more powerful than the factual social life that we live every day. That's why when we read literature, what happens is we get into the mind of an author. And through the mind of the author, we get into our own mind, the reader's mind. That's where we have interaction between the past. Say, for example, Homer from Greece, or Ramayana from India, or War and Peace from Russia. We connect with so many continents, so many countries, so many different kinds of time, past, present, and future. Some writers write about the future. So we are able to connect with all kinds of human experiences in different times and space. We have a very interesting quotation here: truth is stranger than fiction. So when we present truth as it is, it becomes sometimes strange. So what writers do is to observe life closely and write about what they have seen, what they have experienced, what they have imagined about life. And so life, when it is written in the form of literature through language, imaginatively gives us a wonderful understanding of life. We do this course, 12-week course. We have some procedure. You have already started doing this. You must have done for the past 5 weeks or so. Fifth week assignment will be ready soon. We have one structure for this assignment. There are 3 sections. We'll have 4 questions under each section. So totally we'll have 12 questions. All these questions will be of both informative and inferential questions. Some facts, some information, is it true or not? What is it? Or something like that. We will ask questions of factual and also inferential nature. Inferential means you have to understand the underlying meaning, why something is there, why does a character behave in certain ways, or why has author used certain poetic devices or words. Yeah, under section 1 we have true or false questions. We have only 2 options, so you have to choose one. We have already done that. In section 2 we have multiple choice questions where you will have 6 options and you have to choose only one correct answer. And the third section has multiple answers, more than one answer. That's why it is called multiple selection questions. You have to choose more than one answer. Sometimes it may be 2, maybe 3, 4, even 5. Very rarely we'll have all 6 answers being right. So you have to choose. Depending on your choice, depending on the number of correct answers, you will get some marks for your answers. Apart from this assignment, weekly assignment that you have, we have an end semester examination as well. Some learners raised questions about this question paper pattern. So here it is. The exam is for 3 hours and 100 marks. The assignment part will have 20% weightage and end semester part will have 80% weightage. So totally you will have 100% weightage. That means 100 marks. End semester questions will be exactly almost like your assignment questions. There will be 10 true or false questions. Each question will have 2 marks. I have mentioned it as objective because you will do all these objective type questions. You have just tick, select and choose. 15 multiple choice questions, each carrying 2 marks, 30 marks. Again, you will have 15 multiple selection questions, each carrying 2 marks. All these 3 are objective type questions. You just click, you give the answer. But the fourth we have another component here in the end semester examination. The same type of question you will have in the 12th week. I give all these questions in the 12th week so that you will be familiar with these subjective type questions as well. What we expect from you in this segment is to appreciate some passages. One from prose, another from poetry, one more from drama, and lastly one from short story. A small passage, 6 lines, 7 lines, maybe 50 words, 100 words, not more than that. Each passage will have 5 marks, so totally 20 marks will be there. You have to write. That means on computer you have to type the answers in a paragraph form. How do you answer this question? I have given you one structure. This is a subjective type answer. So you begin with one sentence, introducing the whole passage, then identify the thematic contrast. You would have already seen in your assignments, in your lectures, in your some of the PDF copies that I have shared already with you. Every piece of writing will have a thematic contrast. For example, today we saw subject and success and failure, trust and betrayal. Like this, love and hate. These are major ones. There are many such contrasts between two opposite ideas. Then we have a linguistic analysis. That means what is the length of the sentence? What are the choices of words? Then we have literary analysis. That means what are the poetic devices used by the author? Two interesting points that we discuss in this course are human relationships. Life cannot be lived without relating ourselves to others. As an individual, we relate with our family, with our society, with the world at large. And in our interactions with people, we also ask questions. What is man? What is woman? What is life? What is friendship? What is marriage? What is love? We ask so many questions. So we have some, what is the meaning of life? We ask questions. So some reflections on life. I hope you have already listened to or seen some of these ideas well explained in almost every lecture. The first introductory lectures may not have, but when we come to the text, individual text, you would have seen them. And then write one sentence summing up all these ideas. And we expect all these things to happen in 150 words. You can write 1 or 2 more words or less, a few more words or few less words, doesn't matter. The computer will have some space constraint. It will give you a specific space. Within that space, you have to write. And that means type your answer. So far, you would have seen first 4 weeks you would have completed, even first 5 weeks you would have completed. But I have covered the first 4 weeks here. Though I have covered the entire course in one chart, one table I shared with you. Here, I focus only on the first 4 weeks. We introduce the course and also the literary genre, and then we have 8 prose pieces like reflective and personal pieces, argumentative prose, narrative prose, and descriptive essay also we have in our first prose section. We have both Indian writers and foreign authors, particularly from British and American literature. And from India, we have Abdul Kalam, Chetan Bhagat, R.K. Narayan, and Amish Tripathi. These essays are very short ones, 2 pages, 3 pages, not very long ones. But when we come to foreign authors, for example, Orwell, Zinzer, Wolf, the length is somewhat longer. Maybe 4 pages, 5 pages, even 10 pages. I think the longest one is Politics and the English Language by George Orwell. But it's worth spending time for reading George Orwell. He's considered to be one of the best prose writers. So we have this, and also he deals with language, how we use or misuse language. One of the statements that he makes in this essay is the great enemy of language is insincerity. So when we are insincere, we cannot be authentic. That's where sincerity goes with the trust, insincerity goes with betrayal. So, how authentic, how truthful, how faithful we can be in our life is reflected in the way in which we use our language as well. When you have done these 16 lectures or maybe 20 lectures you have already completed, in the course of this 1 month that you have covered, what would you have learned? See the outcomes that you may have seen in you. You would have learned how to appreciate reflective and personal accounts of life. We listen to the stories of life by others, but when we read them, we can when we reread them or when we listen to them again and again, we come to know something about our own self. When did we have a successful moment? When did we have a moment of failure? When did we attempt to commit suicide? When did we think of using English or learning English? When did we come to the choice of writing as a career? Some of us, some of you may be writers, or you wanted to become writer after joining this course. You had an idea of becoming a writer or a teacher. So all these ideas you would have now learned better. You would also have understood the process of approaching ordinary events and then describing them. Everyday events. We come across so many events. We go to a classroom, some teacher tells us something, and that has some impact on you. Every one of you would remember some teacher for giving you some motivational words, and some other teachers who attempted to challenge your sense of self. So we have Abdul Kalam, we have Chetan Bhagat describing why some students commit suicide. People don't have people don't think that they have a place in the world. That's why they attempt to commit suicide and various other things we have discussed. And using them as models, you could describe your own experiences of life. Now, a very important aspect of this course is using language sincerely or genuinely. How do we use language genuinely, sincerely? If somebody is not using language sincerely, how do we identify? In our life, one of the basic problems or the skills that we need is how to identify the good people from the so-called evil people. So every one of us needs some training in identifying people, whether they speak truthfully or untruthfully. And how do you understand? Through their body language, you can understand. And also the kind of language that they use, the words that they choose, you can try to understand. By reading literature, you can learn the art of living. By doing all this, what do we learn finally? We also can serve humanity by sharing our own insightful experiences of life. It is possible. So, in this course, I have shared the insightful experiences of great writers, and in this kind of live session, I also share some of my own personal experiences. And we have a beautiful quotation from Ernest Hemingway, an American writer, a novelist, who wrote several novels, but unfortunately, he committed suicide at the end of his life. Even after having won this Nobel Prize, he did not find meaning. There was everyone, even after success, achieving success, we come across challenging moments in our life. So he says, in order to write about life, first you must live it. So I hope this course will help you to live your life, and also it will help you to write about your life in your own mother tongue or in English or in any language that you choose to write in. With that, we come to the end of our presentation today. I will stop sharing now. I would be happy if you can ask any questions that you may have. Raise your questions, please. Uh, Okay, I see that there are some students having some difficulty in submitting assignments. Uh, I think you need to write to the NPTEL office through the forum. Someone, admin, the course admin is different from the course instructor. So they will be able to help you with some of the questions that you have raised. So if you have some questions about the course, you can ask me. Submitting assignment, deadline, registering for the course, examination, payment of fees, and all that, you need to approach the course administrator. Can you please do that? Anyone, if you have any questions, please unmute yourself and speak. I'll be happy to answer. I see Brinda, Shafana, Haripriya, Sai Monica. Are there others? Yes. Madhulika, Jivika, Abhirami, Ashita, Murugan, Tanuja Sri, Charisma. Anybody else? You can type your question or you can ask your question. Oh, there are many. Tanushri, Kirtana, Urmi, Brata, Ambika, Kalpana. So happy to see all of you here. Please raise your questions. You can share your comments. Anita is coming online. I mean, she has a video on, though it's not fully visible. Anyone can ask questions or share your ideas. Gauri, Manohari, Vidya, anyone, please raise your question. Yes, life inspires literature, life affects literature, literature affects life. That is the exact point of interrelationship between life and literature. We see something in life and write about it. We also learn about life in literature and try to live our life. So you have an example in a short story. Later you will see a cup of tea. There is a woman, educated woman, a rich woman. She reads about people in life, and then she wants to practice what she reads in life. So what she reads in literature, she puts into practice. Literature affects mutually. Literature and life affect each other mutually. Yes. I have seen one message. Any other message like that? Any other question? Please raise your question or comments. You can unmute and speak. Literature affects life as life affects literature. Life is an inspiration for literature. Literature is also an inspiration for life. Anybody, any question? I read out all the names. I can see. Anita, do you have any question? I see your fan fully, not you. Doesn't matter. You can actually turn off your video if you don't want to be seen. Switch off your video and speak. Gauri, Vidya, please ask your questions. Did you have any difficulty while doing the assignments?
Good evening, sir.
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I want to ask that there are some works in this whole course. Do we need to read the actual text of it?
Yes. If you read the actual text, your understanding of the text will be much better than just reading some extracts. I have given some passages in our PPT, but it will be good for you to read the whole text. Just 2 pages, 3 pages. Poems are with just 1 page or 2 pages. Only 1 or 2 poems will be longer. For example, Resolution on Independence, you may have 4 pages, but most poems are short, just 1 page or so. Only longest one is the novel. Novel, it will be good for you to read one.
Yes, sir.
Depends on your time, depends on your interest. If you read more, it will be good for you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Anybody else?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
in your poetry course, we got a book on the poetry. The entire book we undergone. And here, do you like to give a book on this subject, on this course?
We don't have a single book, sir. These are extracts from various books.
No, your lecture is given in the book.
Okay, yeah, PDF copy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Copy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That I will try to give as soon as possible, sir. For 16 lectures, I have already posted the.
That we have received, sir.
Yes. The next 16 lectures I will send you soon.
Thank you very much.
I will try to complete them as soon as possible. And for like poetry, I will create one file and share with you.
Okay, sir. It will be very
I'm glad
fine.
to see you. You who attended our poetry course and you are also attending this course.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? If you don't have any questions, then we will wind up our session. Priyadarshini, you can share your comments also, no problem. Particularly if you have had any difficulties, please tell us so that we can try to help you as much as possible. Did everyone get this sample model question paper? Sushmita, where is Sushmita? She said she was not able.
No, no, sir. I'm not able to access to the question paper.
It
Model
is there
test.
on your assignment page. Whenever are you doing your assignment?
Yes, sir.
There is one. Please, week 1, week 2, like that. You have assignment and all that. There you have one tab. One. Just click it. You will get the document.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Can you just check that, please?
Yes, sir. One.
Week 1, week 2, like that. You click it and get assignments. Similarly, on top you will have question paper, model sample or model question paper, like that. You have one document. Anybody else?
One model question for the entire course.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Complete 100 marks question paper you have.
I have not seen it. I'll check.
It is there on your course portal.
Okay, sir.
Sir, I checked the course portal, but I'm not able to access it.
Okay, then I will do one thing. I will post it on your forum. Hope everyone will be able to get it. I will send the attachment. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I will do it. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Anybody else? Any other question? So thank you so much. I'm going to leave the meeting now. Can we take leave now?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all for joining this course now. We will meet again soon for a second live session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good night.
Good night, sir.
Oh, okay. Okay, bye. Oh, some messages come.